Okay, so a quick little update for my videos. First and foremost, I almost forgot to mention the second cut, yes, third cut, hopefully, and final. Um, but uh, the audio was weird on my last video when I was going over the books that I was going to be, that whole thing. I was going to be reading, going over those books. The audio cut out. It didn't cut out completely. It just went quieter, and it was really weird. I don't know if it was YouTube, my phone, or whatever. So I'm filming on the iPad. Hopefully, I can get it filmed and not have run out of storage. I have 4 GB left, and I can usually get at least one video out before it runs out of storage. I know I should just read the Kindle books, but even then, like the comics I have on Kindle, but even then, I'd probably want to read them again. So I don't want to, I like having them downloaded because I like having them to read offline if I need to. And this guy is acting up a lot more with the Wi-Fi, so eventually we'll have to get a new one, I'm sure. I have a VPN that I get money from, like points from. I can get like gift cards from. It's Nielsen, and I have to have that VPN downloaded on both my devices to get the most amount of credit. And that is acting up. I don't know why. But anyways, so that's that. And now for the quick little update, because of this damn book, Iron Fist. This is due on the 9th, and I can't renew it because someone else has a hold on it. I don't know why, because it's an old book they had for a long time, but I need to try and finish it by then. And originally, I was going to go tomorrow, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do that, or want to do that. But the good news about that is you'll get 2 more comic reviews. You'll get Iron Fist and Future's End. I'm gonna try. Those are my two. Those are my 2 top priorities. Trying to finish those. Will we with? And I don't know. Am I gonna get them finished? It's annoying, I'm trying to get those finished, and I was going next week. I was going this week. I go for Monday tomorrow. I would have gone. But I can't. Maybe I can. Even Wednesday, but damn dentist appointments. It's like this week is so filled. And Friday they're closed. And Thursday, I'll put on Thursday. Or Tuesday, I don't know. The damn, who's checking out Iron Fist? And the other thing that, I would forgive all of it if the person that's checking out Iron Fist is checking it out because of me. Because they watch my YouTube videos and someone local and, they're wanting to read it too. And it's just obvious it's a library, you share the books, not just your book. And I get that. I'm not trying to say anything like that. It's just that I'm annoyed because it's like, it had to happen at this second. I don't blame anybody, is what I'm trying to say. But that's that. I'll try and finish that maybe for Tuesday, honestly. Because I have 14 issues left, I believe. Because I'm on issue 2 out of 15. And there's 2 Marvel team-ups. So I have those 2 in a collection. Which is, ironically enough, they made a Marvel team-up collected edition that was Chris Claremont and John Byrne centric, not the Masterworks. It was like a weird printing of it, which I'll most likely be showing off if when I review Iron Fist, because I don't think I will be able to finish those by then, and that's the only 2 that I would be two less comics to read. So I'm gonna have at least 12 to 14 issues left, and if I can get those finished between today and tomorrow, that'd be perfect. I'll try my best, but no promises with that. And honestly, I could do that because I don't need to get on the other books right away either, because I won't be returning them by Thursday anyway, so I can give myself a little bit more time to read them. But that's the whole thing there. I'm trying to get those books finished. So I'm going to be doing to get the videos. I don't want to just stop doing videos. When I end up going tomorrow, but I end up going Tuesday. I don't want to. I just want to do these kinds of videos to fill in the gaps. So today it will be this video, this indie comics reviews, the books that I have that are in my collection that I've read. Tomorrow you'll probably get the books that probably the books reviewed, like these comics reviews, like the library reviews kind of thing. Because there's the 8 I can finish, but even that's a bit, I don't know what I'll do tomorrow. Tomorrow I think, I don't know, because I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish all those books by then. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. We'll see. If I can finish them by tomorrow, perfect. And I go on Tuesday, it'd be amazing. But time will tell what happens, and maybe I'll give up. Maybe I'll just say like, you know what? It all depends on what the librarian says. I reached out to her through email, and if she says, yeah, I can renew it for a week just fine, then I'll just go next week to return the books, and I'll just return. Like maybe I'll just give them to someone to return. Like, you know, there's a grocery store right next to the library, so it's give my mom next time to go grocery shopping. Yeah. But that is that. So let's get on to the comic reviews now. I've had a 5-minute update. My God. All right, let's get on to things. First one up is My Friend Dahmer. One I've read the book of and watched the movie of. Now, I'm going to do a little brief segue on to talking about the Black Panther Party by David F. Walker. My Friend Dahmer does everything, and also the Eddie Gein one did too. It does everything I want out of a comic book biography kind of book. It's comic book biography, biographical comic books. There we go, or biographical graphic novels, and it shows rather than tells. Black Panther Party was basically, the best way to describe it in like 10 words or less is that it was an essay. It was an essay. A well-researched, well-documented essay. Not a comic book. They put pictures in it so I can call it a graphic novel, but it's not. And it was extremely boring because it's just an essay. If you like reading essays, if you like reading reports, if you like reading a Wikipedia article on the book with little pictures, go out and read those. I can understand why people would like them. Don't get me wrong. But this is what I wanted from Black Panther Party, an actual story. And maybe you can't do it with Black Panther Party, but yeah, I think you could. I didn't even bother with the Frederick Douglass one. I just was like, screw it, I'm done. I usually do like those books though, because I like the Eddie Gein one. I really like this one, and really like the Eddie Gein one. But Black Panther Party and the other one are just kind of boring. So technically, I liked half of the books I've read. I had to think of other biographical graphic novels. I'm pretty sure I've read more. And yeah, no, it's not because because I have a type of biographical comic books I like. So I'm about serial killers. But yeah, I want to actually. I could put that on there. There was a book called The Fifth Beatle that Nearman Condition was talking about recently, and it was an older book, so they should have it at my local library or Interloans. But this one was very good. I really like this one, and it's very unique in the fact that it's literally his friend literally Jeffrey Dahmer's friend from high school giving his take on Jeffrey Dahmer as a character. So very good, very interesting, intriguing, and I'll be reading it again pretty soon because it's been a while since I've read that book. But I'll probably be reading it again soon and watching the movie again very soon here. Yeah, I'm gonna re-review. So this next one is. Everyone has their, it's actually the opposite of Jeffrey Dahmer in tone, but this one, everyone has their different, they all grew up with the comic strips. I think even if you're not into comic books in general, you've read comic strips, like whether it was Peanuts, Calvin and Hobbes, Pickles, For Better or Worse, I think one was called, all those like newspaper strips. This was mine. I mean, of course I read Peanuts, but this was the one I read the most out of and enjoyed the most out of, and it's the most memorable to me, and that is Big Nate. Now, I have a lot of the Big Nate books, and I decided to pick the best out of the bunch, because they're all also, like, series of comics, but I picked the best out of the bunch. And this one was the best out of the bunch. This is Big Nate's Greatest Hits, and collects a lot, almost all of them, actually all of them are, his, earliest stuff, earlier strips, the ones, because he's been around since 1993. Had a really good storyline with one of the characters he meets likes the character he hates. It's one of those things, and it's like so will they, won't they kind of thing. It's really good, like honestly, really well written. And I don't think it technically had a conclusion. I think it was pretty rushed, but I really enjoyed this comic series. Now, much like with Diary of a Wimpy Kid, I don't usually buy these books. I usually just kind of much like with Diary of a Wimpy Kid, I have completely stopped buying these. I don't think I'll ever jump back on. Despite how much I like the Big Nate books and did like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, it's just one of those things that I have so much of what I need to get. Big Nate is like at the bottom of my wish list. So far down there that's not really on my wish list anymore. I haven't read it. I haven't read the Big Nate books in a long enough time to justify my purchase of them. So that's that. But I do recommend them to kids. It's a very funny, very it's basically Wimpy Kid, but honestly kind of better because it's it's not as I'd say it's just as good as Wimpy Kid, but I feel like it's a bit more mature in time, especially the older comics. Like I would say, we haven't got. There's one that was like very jarring because it was so like you're allowed to make that joke back then, but I don't think it was in here. It was in one of the digital collections. They go in order in digital collections, which is really cool. It might have been in this one too, but it wasn't anything too bad. It's like basically Big Nate is like TVY7. The joke would be a TVG, TVPG. Like it's a little bit more. Next one's also a kind of like a middle school kind of book, and this one I remember really liking. This is called The Dumbest Idea Ever, and it's about a kid wanting to write his own comic book, and it's very, very what do you call it? Like influential for other kids wanting to write their own comic books. And it's honestly, if your kid wants to write a comic book, if he's very interested in, and he's again, I say middle school, like because a little kid probably not, but middle school, if he's really interested in writing comics and it hasn't and he's been like that all his life, I would say give this to him and it'll influence him even more. And especially if he's giving up because he's like not as because he knows what the comic book medium is. But this is also just a good book in general. It was very interesting. If you like, again, it's for the Wimpy Kid crowd, but it's a lot more like story based and a lot less like it's an actual story. Wimpy Kid is too. Wimpy Kid kind of like it's just like this is more of a story than Wimpy Kid is. It's the best way I can describe it. Then we have probably the #1 Scholastic book that's always on like the top 10. It got an Eisner, right? Yep, got an Eisner Award, and that is Smile. This was one of the first comic books I ever bought, and I'm with this. This is one of my favorite comics of all time, honestly. It is a very good book. It is perfect for any kid, any age, and any gender. Yeah, it is technically for middle school girls, but I think anybody can enjoy this book. It's like that the reason why I give Wimpy Kid like not like so much shit, but like I'm kind of like critical about it, but not critical. Like I still like this book. The movies I feel like are almost underrated. The original trilogy, anyways. We don't talk about them anymore. But like it's kind of hard to explain what I feel about Wimpy Kid. But Wimpy Kid I like. Don't get me wrong, but like. I guess you could say like when I was reading it growing up, when I was the age demographic. There we go. That was what I was trying to explain. When I was the age demographic, I always like Smile more than Wimpy Kid, and it was because I wanted more of Smile and less of Wimpy Kid. Wimpy Kid is the perfect book to read for fun. In Smile, you could read for fun, and you can also do it for a book report. Whereas Wimpy Kid, you really couldn't. I mean, honestly, it would show more effort to do a good book report on the Wimpy Kid than it would be to do on any other book, honestly. That is very hard to do. So the next one is called Fun Home, and I remember liking it enough. It was kind of like the kind of comic book that you get assigned to read for class because it's fun. It's a comic book. You guys like those, and you read it, and it's like, oh, cool, I'm reading a comic book for school, and you'd never read it on your own. I do want to read it again though. I do want to give it a second shot because everyone else seems to like it. I just thought it was a bit too slow here. It was very interesting, and it got better as it went along. But I felt like it was just the writing style was a bit too like mundane, kind of sort of thing. Next one is, so most of these I said like, oh, I've read it before, but I remember how I liked about this one, about the book. This is a major exception. This is Two Guns, and which is kind of funny about this, not like funny, but the book has completely fallen apart. Not completely, but some pages are very loose. And it actually, there it is. I was gonna say, didn't it come apart? I thought it came apart completely. Um, I don't know how it happened because it was kind of like it was almost like a surprise. Like, it was out of nowhere. It just fell apart. Uh, but I've had this book a long time. I've read it before. I remember liking it enough. I remember liking enough to want to check out the movie, but I think the reason why I never did was because I figured it wouldn't be as good as the comic was. Because I remember there was something like that. Like the reason why I didn't want to watch the movie was because it was so different from the comic series now. Kind of like how I feel about Preacher nowadays. But I remember liking it. I'll read it again soon. Probably, and honestly, I liked it enough to want to get a replacement for the longest time. I kept checking a local comic shop, Newberg Comics, where I got it from, to see if they had a new copy of it, and they never did. So I liked it enough for that. And this one is volume 2 of this series. I don't have volume 1 physically, and that is Lock and Key. I've only read volume 1, and I really did like it. I thought it was very good. The TV show is not nearly as good as the comic book. The comic book is TV. It's like mature TVMA, and like for older teens. And they made a show for like younger teens, like PG-13, T14, like a kind of like an older Goosebumps kind of thing. It was kind of like why. It changed a lot, and it was kind of like it was almost insulting, like so, but almost like it was like. I was able to treat it as its own thing, and I did like it. I haven't finished the TV show or the comic series. Next up, another one I've only read one volume of, and that is The Boys. And this one, even though I felt it was very slow, and it felt like that volume 1, it was like 14 issues, I still really enjoyed it. I still am glad. Honestly, this is one of my favorite one of the best purchases I've made in a long time, and that was last September. I honestly did not mind going off my usual spending habit of getting just Image Comics, or my spending habit, preference of just getting one publisher, and then I branched out to another publisher to get these books. And that was honestly one of the best decisions I've ever made. So, but I did read all this, and I remember liking it enough. It was just very slow. I felt like it was kind of like you could have told, it should be here, but we're all the way back here. But I still liked it enough. The TV show, it was a lot better so far, but I still would recommend checking out the comic series. And for whatever reason, Volume 3 of the and again I have the softcover omnibuses. For whatever reason, Volume 3 of the softcover omnibuses like out of print completely. I don't know why. Like the hardcovers are still in print. It's weird. And it's on Amazon, by the way. 4 Kids Walk Into a Bank. One of the books that I have read, like, I want to say 7 times, and it is just that good. I picked up What's the Furthest Place from Here purely, like, that, like, is one of those books that I don't know why I was ever skeptical to buy that book because of how good this book is. The same exact creative team for What's the Furthest Place from Here. A little side tangent for that book. Why is Volume 2 collecting 10 through 13 and then Volume 1 collects 1 through 6? Why not collect 7 through 10? Or 7 through whatever the hell? Or 7 to 13? Or 7 to 14? It's just really weird. And I think it's more of a disjointed story because some of it's like flashbacks. But still, like, go in order. Don't go in chronological order. Go in issue order. It's really weird. And that's the only reason why I haven't gotten Volume 2 yet. But yes, anyways, this is very, very good. If you don't like Matthew Rosenberg's writing, I would say check this one out because you'll be pleasantly surprised. And it's honestly like this is from Black Mask. I have 2 Black Mask books. The other one I got just purely based off the fact that everyone hated it and wanted to see what the fuss is about. And this is probably even then Black Mask is kind of the publisher I don't check the most out from. Kim and Kim, they was by them. I absolutely hated that. It was published by them. I absolutely hated that book. But this one was probably the best honestly, technically, it's the best Black Mask book. Black Mask book. Did I say Black Mask by accident? I don't know. Then we have Fight Club 2. One of those books that I liked, but everyone else hates. I just thought it was enjoyable enough. Yeah, I had no idea what was going on, but I honestly, I can get back on this book. Read it yet again. And last but certainly not the least, it's a Bungo Comics book I was talking about. I believe I talked about in this cut. I hope we talked about in this cut. And this is the best Simpsons comic book that I like. Even when I was reading Simpsons comics, this was my favorite one. And this is the Simpsons Future on my crisis crossover crisis. Now, no, I don't. It did come with the not touchback, a slipcase. But the slipcase fell apart and get rid of it. And yes, I still have the. It is here. Right here, you had the reprint of the first Simpsons comic ever. And yes, that was a major reason for why I got this book way back when. And I remember like it was yesterday. But I really like this book. This was really, really enjoyable. This is my favorite comic book, Simpsons comic, when I was reading Simpsons comics. And much like a Big Nate, I'm not going to get any more. I'm just going to stick with the Simpsons comics I have. They're not as enjoyable as they were before. But I do like when they would do like homages like this. But they're enjoyable enough. I would definitely say if you like the TV show to at least give this one a shot. But again, it's just kind of like it's not bad. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate this. I don't hate the books. I don't think they're so much worse than the show. It's just kind of like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I liked it, but this is my favorite. Honestly, if I go back to it, I will probably read this one again. But it's kind of like a Big Nate. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. I get back onto like a Big Nate. It's just one of those things. I have so much on my wish list. Even then, I don't ever get back on those. Like, even if I got every single comic book I wanted on my wish list, and I would have to like think of comics that I wanted. Like I got like a whole 400 of them. Even then, I would probably be like, it's got 400 comic books. I'm not gonna get them for a while now. But I'm the kind of guy like getting books, at least a few books per month. So maybe split that up between the months. I'm trying to think of because I would not be satisfied even then. So maybe then I would get the Simpsons comics, just so I could get some books per month. But it's just one of those things. But that, as I say, is that. I think ironically enough, 22 minutes, the length of a Simpsons episode without commercials. But don't get me wrong, these are absolutely, I do recommend them for fans. Check this one out. But it's nothing I would buy again. And that was the first comics I bought, by the way. And that's who most of my first subscribers knew me from, and they stopped getting them, and they unsubscribed. And the longest time it was like dead air, and then everyone else came, and then some people came back, and then some people not came back, but and then you guys came, and but I've never really been tempted to get those books again. I also, and that was that's what I was trying to say. I've never been tempted to buy another Simpsons comic or a Big Nate book. I would sooner buy a Marvel book or DC book, and then I still got a bunch of Image comics to get. It's just I'm technically wasting money by getting books at a local library, but I'm starting to get over that. And honestly, I think eventually I'm just gonna have every single Image comic that they have. Honestly, some exceptions, obviously, but if I get a book from Image, I'll be most likely getting it sooner rather than later. But that, as they say, is that. See you in the next one, and maybe tomorrow you'll see books like every vamp. Maybe we'll give up. Maybe we'll just decide to hell with it. I'm gonna keep Iron Fist for next week. I may end up deciding to do that. I don't know. I might end up deciding to do that. Monday's video will be the comic reviews and the movie reviews. Just the 4 and 4. I still have to watch one movie. But as a family kind of, everyone's watching it kind of thing. That was The Intern that I was talking about, but I wanted to watch. It's on Hulu, and she has Hulu, so worst case, I'm just gonna watch myself and say, hey, it's on Hulu, watch yourself on Hulu, because she's the only one that wants to see it. My mom already saw it, and I already saw it. I want to see it again, kind of thing. But because I'm gonna get that out tomorrow. I'm gonna get that movie finished tonight. But that, as I say, is that.